Fox Sports Radio and TireRack.com are giving away, that's right, giving away a set of 4 brand new tires. They're valued at up to $1,500. And we're doing that this week. A winner will be picked on Sunday to win a set of these 4 tires, plus installation, taxes, and fees, which can add up themselves. And again, it's a total of about $1,500. So enter daily, because that gets you a new entry into the contest every single day here at Fox Sports Radio and foxsportsradio.com. So go to foxsportsradio.com to boost your chances to win by, again, entering daily. And after this week, 2 more winners will have a chance to win through August 27th for a set of, again, 4 brand new tires. To enter and get rules, visit foxsportsradio.com. And again, this is all sponsored by TireRack.com, the way tire buying should be. As we do every Worship Wednesday, we've got Foul or Fair with our man J.R. Gamble from MLBBro.com. And Rob, I heard he took you to the woodshed when I was gone.
Oh, is that what you
I'm saying?
You told me
I heard it from JR, but I heard it.
You heard it from JR? Is that where you heard it from? You hope JR and them hope and wish that they slayed me on
did y'all
our show.
I know y'all did a lot of baseball.
We did something. It was after the All-Star game. It was that week. He did a nice job, and so did Gary Sheffield Jr., Chris.
Did he? He was good. I like Gary Sheffield Jr.
Yeah, he did a nice job. You know, like he hadn't done radio really. You know, he's done a podcast, I think,
right?
But he hadn't done a radio show, so he did a nice. Rob G, he was pretty good, don't you think?
Absolutely.
He brought energy. Okay.
Yeah, it was good.
I tell people, Rob, and you know this, when you teach young people about the business, when I've talked to people at schools and stuff like that, I say, Rob, there's a big, and this for all you out there that might want to do this, there's a big it factor to this. And it kind of was alluded to earlier when we talked about personalities and stuff. Yeah, of course you want to be technically sound and obviously know that as much as you can about the sports and be articulate and all that. But there is this goes for TV and radio. There is you either have it or you don't factor to this. Would you like Charles Barkley is not what you'd call technically sound as a
broadcaster. No, but that's not, you don't need that. He doesn't need that.
Right. He's phenomenal. He's got the it factor. Kenny Smith, he's got the it factor. And so, you know, the charisma, personality, I say all the time, Rob, energy too. And I'm sure you don't as well. I don't come up here and try to have energy. I just do when I'm in this venue. You know, TV, radio,
is a part of it. Right.
You need some energy. Like, I've seen guys, Rob, former players that I thought would be great on television because they were handsome, articulate, whatever the case may, maybe a great player, and they didn't have any energy.
Right.
They just too soft-spoken or what. You need some energy, you know, to have it, if you will.
We just talked about it earlier when the show started. The passion that I come with every day.
Right.
Chris, we could argue, whatever, disagree. But you know it ain't phony. It's just really what I believe, what you believe. That's why sometimes we have a knockdown, drag out.
Right.
Because it's real. This is just how I feel. It's not for radio. We're not doing this. Like,
we never have manufactured anything.
When we decided to do this show, we talked about it. We're not going to do the same topics that everybody does every day. We refuse to do it. We just said we won't.
Right.
If there's a rub, and one thing that we talk about all the time with Rob G, our producer, when we do this, we pull the curtain back a little bit. What's the rub? What's the rub? We need a rub. Chris and I, we don't want to be on here and just agree with each other for 3 hours. Boring. Nobody wants to listen to that.
And sometimes we do because we don't make up. We don't, you take that. No, we don't do that. But we do understand sometimes if you got one topic where you disagree,
That's the
that
topic
could be
we should
better
use.
than the one
Right.
topic, where you agree. So that's all a part of it. And Rob, I remember Don Martin, our executive who put us together.
Yep.
You know, I had the In the Zone podcast on FS1, and I had you on as a guest. And he said he listened to that show, thank God, and was like, that's it. You guys had it. Like, he just wanted to put us together.
That
And
is
we
a
had
true
done
story.
TV shows together and
We
all
were on
that.
First Take together, all that, way
Yep.
back in the day. We've known each other for 20, but we never thought about doing a radio show.
Right.
And I was on as a guest, and we went at it. And Don Martin had listened to that. And then I think he had talked to Scott, and because Scott had put us on
We were
separate
with
shows.
with different guys. Yeah, nah. So that's just a little, like Rob said, taking you behind the curtain a little bit. But what we wanted to talk about was Jayson Tatum and Rob G. You said, we don't have sound of this? We do. Okay. Here's Jayson Tatum at his basketball camp talking to some young hoopers.
I don't decide we playing the Hornets tonight. I'm a chill. I only get to go to Charlotte 2 times a year. Somebody paid their money to come watch me play. It's a bunch of kids in there, my shoes and my jersey. And just because we playing Charlotte on NBA League Pass on a Monday, then ain't nobody watching. Nah, I'm chilling tonight. That's not what the great players, the best players do. Y'all next. So just keep that in mind. Like, ranked player, not big game, not big game. Like, compete, play basketball. Don't fake for granted.
Bravo. And Rob, it's a shame that in 2023, you have to even say that. You shouldn't even have to say that. The only place I disagree with Jayson Tatum, and he has for the most part put his money where his mouth is, Rob, he's missed 33 games in his 6-year career. So he's a guy that does go out there and play. If he's not playing, he's typically banged up or something like that. But the only place I disagree with him, and this isn't his fault or any shade on him, some of the best players do that. That's the thing. I mean, and I'm gonna give him a little grace, Kawhi Leonard, because Rob, we've seen it. Kawhi has to do it, and it still might not work.
He's got injury issues.
Yeah.
But I'm going to push back on Jayson Tatum. Chris, I'm going to push back. Because last year, I blew a gasket, if you remember correctly. The Celtics announced on a Saturday, Chris, that Tatum would be out on a Sunday against the Orlando Magic due to personal reasons. Do you remember that?
I do. I'm trying to remember the specific, but I do remember it. Was it something with his son's birthday party or something like that?
There you go, Chris. There wasn't nothing wrong with him. Everybody thought, it's an ominous report. There doesn't seem to be a reason to be concerned about the Tatum or his family. In fact, he was celebrating his son's 5th birthday party, Jason's son, Deuce, and it was on Jayson. It was revealed on his Snapchat. So I'm going to push.
Did he have to go out of town or? I mean, the bottom line is he went. Is Deuce in St. Louis? That's where Tatum's from, right?
The reason he got caught was on Snapchat. He was on a train.
He's showing pictures,
going
right,
to,
Chris?
To the party.
Right. Which is my thing is, it's a 5-year-old's birthday party, and you could have a birthday. He's rich. He can do whatever. Right. There's a day and time. Chris, you were a kid. I was a kid. If my birthday was on a Wednesday, guess what? We had a birthday party on Saturday. We didn't have it on the day of your birthday. Right. Am I right? That because all the kids were out of school and your parents were working, and there was no party on a Wednesday. It was Saturday. Saturday's the party, ice cream, cake, whatever. It was never like, it has to be on your birthday. Who, a kid?
And also, Rob, and I'm going to say, and you're right, I'm glad you brought that up because I had forgotten about that. I'm sure a lot of kids, this is the experience. Man, my kids had a birthday month. They had a party at school. They had a party.
Y'all gave them one, right?
They had another, for their friends that didn't go to school with them. They had a party with just the family. It was 3 or 4 weeks. It was ridiculous. And I ain't got the kind of money Jayson Tatum's got. So you're right. Look, even if it was that day of a game, Jayson Tatum, you could fly in maybe after the game, before the game, or the next day. I mean, like you said, that's the thing. The NBA players can do. Like, remember when there was a talk about Harden might go to Houston, and his mom lives there. So God bless Mrs. Harden, but he could have his family live wherever he wants.
Right.
He can move him to Philadelphia if he wants to live with his mom. Bring his mom.
I'm just saying,
put her in a mansion in Philadelphia if you want.
Yeah,
so
it's just weird.
On that. I like what he said, but I have forgotten about that.
Yeah, that's the only thing I'm going to push back on, because he does play, Chris, missing 33 games in 7 years. I get it. He's not chronic.
That's like an Iron Man nowadays.
Yeah, in the NBA today. But I'm not going to bellyache. But I'm just saying he did do that, and if you're hurt, Chris, I get it. You only play 82 games a year. There are 365 days in the year. You don't play every day.
You got 4 months off.
Exactly. And I get it, it's your kid's birthday. But do you need to miss a game for a 5-year-old? Chris, do you remember your 5th birthday? You don't remember it, do you?
No.
I'm serious.
No, I really don't. I think I have pictures, but
I have pictures too. That's the only reason, pictures. Chris. That's the only reason I remember it, because I had a crown on my head with a number 5 that my teacher made for me. I remember that party because of the pictures.
The one thing I'm gonna say is this, and I think you might disagree with me. I think we've talked about this before, but I'm telling you, Rob, talking to people around the league, it's not all the players. There are teams that schedule in several missed games for a guy to rest. And I've heard stories of players. Blake Griffin comes to mind. I heard a story when he was a star with the Clippers of him going at it with the staff about, I don't want to sit out. I want to play. And they are fighting him tooth and nail to keep him from playing. And so that's where Rob, and we talked earlier about Rob Manfred, that's where I don't think this would be going on with David Stern. I'm sorry. And I think Adam Commissioner's been a fine commissioner. David Stern was a great commissioner to me. And I know he has his detractors and he was strong and all, but you need that good leadership sometimes. And I think he was great. And I don't think this would be going on, Rob, this load management stuff with David Stern.
It is hard to imagine that he would allow players to disrespect fans, and and that's the word I'm using, Chris, because people pay their hard-earned money. Yeah, and the thing that, even Steve Kerr, it really bothered me. I think Steve Kerr is a good person, Chris. I think he is conscious of other people. I really do. I like Steve Kerr, even not about winning championships. Listening to him on television, I think he's a decent,
good guy,
really good guy who cares about other people. But even he poo-pooed the idea of fans coming and, it's a shame that the players aren't playing. I find that to be not when people pay their hard-earned money.
Rob.
If you know what I mean, Chris. Like,
only thing I can think of is that you've been going for free for so long and you're making so much money that you forget. Rob, you and I have been blessed to go to games for free for 30 years.
Exactly.
Plus. But when I've gone on my own dime a couple times, I'm like, golly, this is ridiculous.
Absolutely
when I can sit at home and watch it and see replays and all that, it's a lot. It's a lot. And I got a little bit of money.
Right.
I mean, it's crazy.
And it's still a lot. I told you when my brother and my nephews came to town and I paid $2,000 to go to a Lakers game, against Denver. And we were holding our breath. Kyrie and,
AD
Dallas,
was out for a minute, but I think they ended up playing.
He played.
But the thought was they might not play, if I remember correctly.
But the only person who was out, I think, was LeBron in that game. And Luka and Kyrie played. Right. And AD. So we were lucky.